video is about how to finger tap and the way I like to go about it. There's noticed quite a few ways that you can approach finger tapping, and let's talk about, I guess you could call it my pet peeve list. So the first thing, when you start finger tapping, keep your pick in hand. A lot of people will put it down, or like Eddie Van Halen will kind of palm the pick this way, and that sets you up at a disadvantage to being able to do stuff like a little sweep tap. So you can't do that if you're constantly putting the pick down or palming it. So that's why I advise keeping the pick in your hand like you normally hold it. Now the other thing is, what a lot of people will do is they tap like this. And they're always like tapping down like that. They tap and then they push away from the fretboard. And the reason why I don't think that's a great idea, one, if you ever want to do nubbing like Mr. Buckethead, stuff like that, you are never going to develop the appropriate speed by flicking your finger away. So if you've seen any of the pull-off videos I've talked about, it's very important that when you are pulling off, you're basically plucking the string while you pull off, like that. The same motion is applied when I finger tap, and how I show my students how to do that. So basically, once you tap, you're doing a pull-off with that tapping finger. So you're still pulling your finger in towards your hand. You're not using your wrist to do the motion. You're not using your arm to make the motion happen. It's all in the finger, like that. So when and I'm also using my palm to rest on the lower strings, so this way you get a lot of unwanted noise canceled out. Like if I'm not, you hear all that extra noise. That way makes it much cleaner. And so what a lot of beginners, when they start doing this stuff, is they keep doing this. And that's what I mean by using the wrist. They really exaggerate that, and you really want to be able to just use just the finger, really, to make that motion happen. You're basically just pushing down and pulling right on off. The other thing is, if any of you do any finger style playing, I'll try and get that in camera here. When you're doing stuff like this, it's the same motion you make when you're finger playing is the same motion that I'm making when I'm doing the finger tapping. So keep the pick in hand like you normally do. You're going to be tapping with the middle finger for the most part. And after you tap, you're going to use your finger to pull off, basically like you're plucking the string, like you're strumming the string. And you want to avoid going down and out like that. And have your palm resting on the lower strings to kill any unwanted noise. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few different exercises to start building up finger tapping. And the first one I like to give people is you're just going to be tapping on the 12th fret, and I'm going to keep all this in the key of C, and what you're going to do is to change what you're pulling off to. So this way you get practice having a nice, even, good, clean sounding tap and pull. So you're going to just follow the tabs on the screen as well. Basically you're tapping here on the 12, you're going to do this 4 times. And then change the note down to 10, or sorry, 8. So you start on the 10 with your left hand, down to 8, 7, 5, 3, 5, 7, 8, and repeat. You really want to make sure those notes are coming across evenly spaced. So basically you want a nice 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What a lot of beginners do is they rush it, and it'll end up sounding something like this. So you're not really hearing the tap note anymore. You're just basically kind of like just smacking the string and not really getting that tap note anymore. So that's one reason why you want to take it nice and slow. So before you start trying doing stuff like that, take it real slow. And make sure you hear both notes. So if you take the time to go slow in the beginning, it's going to pay off for you in the long run. You're going to be able to go a lot faster and make it sound a lot better. Alright, so the next one, you're going to do, this is a pretty common way of a tap pattern. So you're going to tap, pull off, hammer on. Tap, pull, hammer. So you want a nice even triplet, or a nice even 3 counts, like a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And so we'll climb up the E string and then go back down the B string for this example. So once you get the hang of that one, you can throw in an extra finger on the left hand and do something like this. Okay, now this next one will go the other way. So we're gonna do tap, pull off, pull off. So tap, pull off, pull off. Let's go ahead and change the strings we're using this time, so you can get used to playing in other areas. So now, when you come down on these lower strings, you're still gonna keep your hands kind of at the same angle. So like when you start going down further on the fretboard, I'm using my elbow to kind of pull it back. So this way my tapping finger stays about the same position. So this way, well, you get better pull-offs this way and taps. So it was what a lot of people might like to try and do is they use their wrist and they start turning it like this. And that changes the angle, and you can't really do a very good pull-off when you try and hook your finger in and it's going like the same direction the string is going. So you got to make sure you're still at an angle, and mine stays about like a 45-degree angle from the pull-off point. So anyway, let's do this. We're going to do the tap, pull off, pull off. So we got tap, pull, pull. So when you're doing this, that note that you're going to be pulling off to, so we're pulling off to the 5 here, you want to make sure that 5th fret gets down about the same time you're tapping, so this way when you pull off, that 5th fret is ready to go. Okay, once you get the hang of that, you can throw in an additional finger on the left hand, just like we did with the other one. A bit more challenging with the pull-off stuff, I think, instead of doing the hammer-ons. Alright, we'll do this last one just for fun once you get the hang of all of that. really a complicated one, I think. But basically, you're going to be using your second and third finger. It's kind of a combination of what we just did there. So, but yeah, I just kind of like did some beginner plus intermediate type tapping, and now let's just jump up to like crazy advanced crap. If you're ready for it. Just as a good example of combining all these things, plus another reason why you want to hook your finger like this. Makes doing things like this much easier. So what I'm doing, starting with the tap, pull, hammer, hammer. I'm leaving those fingers down, tap with the middle, tap with the ring, pull off, pull off, pull off, pull off. There are other ways you can, all kinds of combinations that you can do with the finger tapping stuff. So you can change strings rapidly. Do like kind of double tap like that. You can use the open strings as well. Slide when you're tapping. And you can keep the right hand stationary and just, you can move the left hand around, just all kinds of combinations of stuff. So this video is really just about showing you the basics to get started. If you would like me to put more examples together, let me know. So let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.